Commissioners, we'll come to order. We'll get started with the monthly Anderson County Commission Budget Committee meeting for Thursday, November 6, 2025, 4:00 p.m. Robbie, if you would, call the roll, please.
Okay. Commissioner McNabb?
Here.
Commissioner Palmer?
Here.
Commissioner Vandegrift?
Here.
Commissioner Val?
Here.
Commissioner White? Commissioner Allen? Commissioner Beauchamp?
Here.
And Commissioner Smallridge?
Let the record reflect we do have a quorum. Want to welcome our newest member, Commissioner McNabb. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Known Chad for a while, and no doubt he will be a valuable member to this committee and to the legislative body altogether. If you would, please join me in prayer, and then we'll ask Commissioner McNabb, if you would, to lead us in the pledge. Heavenly Father, we come to you today humbly, respectfully, and grateful, Lord, that you've saved our souls, that you bless us each and every day, that you walk with us, that you talk with us. Lord, we ask forgiveness on the times when we don't pay attention to what you try to teach us and how you try to lead us. We pray today that as we go into this meeting and we conduct the business of your people, that you'll send the Holy Ghost to guide each and every one of us, give us your wisdom as we discern what you would have us to do and do what's best for your people. All this we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners. Next item on the agenda is appearance of citizens. Anyone in the audience want to address the committee before we get started with our regular agenda? Seeing none, next item is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve the agenda, seconded by Commissioner Allen. We do need to add, commissioners, under 4B, the Leeds contract. So with that, Commissioner Palmer, is that all right with your motion to approve?
Yes.
Commissioner Allen, is that all right for your second?
Yes, sir.
Any more additions to the agenda? Hear none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Next item, item 3, contracts with legal approval. Robbie, if you want to go ahead and brief us on those, please.
Okay, under contracts for legal approval, there were 2 of those. State of Tennessee Department of Health, the Clinton Dental Clinic contract, a 3-year dental services grant for uninsured adults, up to $4 million per year. And the State of Tennessee Department of Health, Emory Valley Dental Clinic, a 3-year dental services grant for uninsured adults for up to $4 million. That's a very large number. We never get anywhere close to that.
Wow.
So,
That's what I thought. So it's $4 million for each one?
yes, but we're probably in the more less than 100,000, even probably quite a bit less than that even, so.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Beauchamp moves to approve items 3A and 3B as a group.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion?
Question.
Commissioner
I
Smallridge.
was just wondering how many people do we serve under these contracts? Do we have any idea? You may not know that right offhand.
The mayor might, but I can ask and get that for county commission meeting.
Just curious, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't recall, Commissioner Smallridge, I can get that from Dr. Hudson. The $4 million number is the number they allocate for the state. I've asked them before about this number, they just do the same. And I guess it's, that's their funds, and we don't.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty big
They
number.
have to fit a certain demographic in order for us to get reimbursed for that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hear none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and contracts pending legal approval, I'll just take A and B separate. The
Yeah.
Comcast IT department contract has been approved by the law director. It's a 5-year internet contract for 11 locations for $1,496 per month.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Bochamp moves to approve item 4A. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none, did I hear somebody? I'm sorry. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and the leads online order summary, contract 16936, I guess is that number, is something we received today, and law director's already approved it as well. And it's a real-time investigation system. You all might tell us more about it.
I'm sorry?
This leads contract, you know anything about it?
Yes, so that's a contract that we've used for years, how our officers can look for pawned items that's been stowed and pawned at pawn shops and things. The last 2 years, that was paid for out of that crime grant. Now that that's over, we're just asking to put that back into our budget to continue using that.
So is the amount the 16,000? Is that the
Yes.
total amount?
Yes.
And where do you want to take it out of? Out of its,
It would probably be the sheriff's, the 54, the sheriff's budget.
Okay.
I think the 26 date is $12,995.
oh, it's this one here,
Yeah.
okay. So
The
it goes
second one.
up.
There's 3 years on there.
Okay.
And would have already done the first year, ending last year.
Okay.
Looks like it goes up a couple thousand each year, so.
And this is a 3-year contract?
Yes, which 2-year, Catherine?
3 years, right?
It,
5 to
I apologize, I'm not real familiar with
Okay,
the
3 year,
terms
yeah.
of it, but
It's 1, 2, and 3.
so really, the first year will be $10,845, Commissioner Palmer, according to this second page.
So did we pay that in June of '25? Is that what that's?
No, we haven't. I couldn't tell you that unless we paid it on the grant last year.
yeah, so the
The
crime
grant.
grant paid it for the last 2 years.
Okay,
Out of
okay.
their funds, but now that that grant's over, we're just asking to start paying it again like we did prior to the grant.
Okay, so this year will be 12, next year it'll be 16,000.
I apologize. I
Gotcha.
got this today in the finance.
Okay,
meeting.
yeah.
So-
That's
And I don't
what
mind
was-
adding it, I just don't know that much about it yet.
Okay,
But it's the 12 and the 16
Yes.
for the, yeah.
So it looks like we have another amount due in June of $12,995.
All right.
Motion to approve.
yeah, second.
Commissioner Bochamp moves to approve item number 4B, seconded by Commissioner Palmer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
In capital asset surplus request, there are 7 vehicles on here, 5 from the sheriff's office, the dental clinic, and a senior center has one as well.
Motion to approve Second. as a group.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 5 as a group. Who seconded
I
that? I'm
second.
sorry. Okay. Second by Commissioner McNabb. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Cash and fund balance report.
Okay. Cash and fund balance report ending October 31st of 2025. General fund is, restricted funds are 1,211,270. Committed funds are at 343,761. Assigned funds, 1,627,153. Unassigned fund balance, 13,712,507. Total fund balance, 16,894,691. Cash, 14,632,316, which is down 3.2 million from last year at this time. Each fund is listed on here with their fund balance and their cash at the end of October. And that is a low cash total for the county. And I did a little research on that and found comparable to this time last year, we've spent 1.4 million more than last fiscal year at the end of October. But our revenue is $562,000 and $660 less than last October, which I'm not concerned about because I looked at a few of the revenue codes like the detention facility, the contracted prisoner boarding, which we get from the state. We've only gotten one time this year. The state's always behind a couple of months, so, and it's one of our larger revenues. Property taxes compared to last year in October are up a couple of $100,000. We took a lot of, because we stay open longer in August, we're able to take a lot of our funds back to the prior year for grants and stuff. So sometimes that's reflective in the early year. That's what we have the first few months is grant revenue and sales tax. And the sales tax is up. So I really expect us to catch up. Obviously, we know the opioid funds are $1 million have been pulled out of the general fund. So really, it's a $2 million decrease, which I think we will catch up on January, February, by the end of February, when taxes are due.
Any questions on the cash and fund balance report?
And I will say this too, we're spending our funds now for projects, general fund funds for projects instead of ARPA funds. That makes a big difference. We're not dipping into that general fund cash and when we had those funds, so we're now at spending general fund money on those projects.
Moving on.
Okay, for sales tax, the September breakdown, the county as a whole, $4,763,393. It's 12.1% increase. And the Anderson County portion, $544,006. That's 6.2% increase from last September. So sales tax is trending up in the this fiscal year.
Any questions on the local option sales tax report? Hearing none, moving on.
And there's, the next page is our grant inventory list for 25-26. We did have 4 new grants down at the bottom. I usually don't have a lot to say about this unless you have questions. John does a really good job with this, with the grants and in this spreadsheet. So, and he's also here if you have any grant questions.
Any questions on the grant inventory report? Moving on.
And the last thing I have here is the ARPA funds project. We still have 8 projects that are not completed. We did receive some EMS vehicles since last commission meeting, I believe, right? And we're getting close to having all those, and I do think those will be fine. We've talked about
That's the end of this year, right?
2026, December.
26, okay.
Right.
Thank you, sorry to interrupt. I saw him go.
Yes. So, and we know about the broadband. We've discussed that several times in commission. The dental clinic redesign is almost completed, and the health department renovation is starting, or has started. Yep. So we'll be done with all these projects. I feel good about
Yeah,
this.
okay.
Any questions on the ARPA projects report? Hearing none, moving on.
Okay, transfers not requiring commission approval. There are 3 of those, one from EMA, and 2 from the school, one from the school department and one from the central cafeteria fund.
Motion to approve as a group.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve items 1 through 3 as a group. Do we have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Bochamp.
Yep.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Commissioner McNabb, just for the record, sometimes I get into a habit of rolling, so if I don't see you or hear you, don't hesitate to
Just shout it out.
holler or have Saber throw something.
Either one.
ready for me to move.
Go ahead.
Okay, the schools are up next with appropriations and one transfer, 4 through 6. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Dr. Parrott is here as well, if you have any questions.
Motion to approve?
Commissioner Bochamp moves to approve items 4 through 6.
Yes.
Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion?
I just have a quick question.
Commissioner Pong.
What is this one, the bonus payments? I was a little confused on the justification.
So last year, when the legislators passed the new voucher bill, they gave all teachers a $2,000 bonus, but that left 600 employees in our district that didn't get anything. So the board will approve it this week, is going to approve a $1,500 bonus for all those people that didn't get that bonus. So that's what that.
And that's
so,
what this amount comes to?
Yep, and that's why we waited up until now to do that, and so we would still have cash flow. Yep.
Dr. Parrott, if you would explain to the committee, I know some of us may know, some of us may not, when the state mandates the teachers get raises, how does that affect the local school
So
department's budget?
when they do that, they only give raises on what so many of them is. So like no school districts only have the number of teachers what they say. So we're like 200 teachers over. And so when they give us money for a teacher raise, they only give us money for those 800 teachers or 600 teachers. They also don't give us any money for classified employees or for custodians or for that. So anytime there's a raise, about 60% of it has to come from, 60% comes from them and another 40% comes from us. And so if we don't have it, what we have to end up doing is what we've done for the last 3 years, is we have to cut things to be able to pay that raise. And they're mandated to do that. We're mandated to give a raise. So if we're mandated to give 3%, the board's not going to give teachers 3% and not give classified anything, because they make less than anybody in there. I don't see how they buy groceries right now. So, yep.
Great.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Allen.
When you say classified, what,
So when I say classified, that would be somebody that doesn't have a teaching degree. That would be a teacher's assistant. That would be a secretary, a custodian, a nurse. That would be our cafeteria workers. All of those people like that.
thank you.
Yep.
And how many did you say? 600 and what?
Yeah, there's about 600 people that will get this raise. It varies because what we did is we did the same thing they had to be full-time by last November, and they still have to be working for us November 1st of this year. So,
I'm glad you had it.
yep. Well, it hurt
I know.
because we had to pull some other
big
projects back.
number.
Yep, but it was the right thing to do. Yep.
I just thought it'd be interesting for everybody to know how that works when you hear the state gave money for the raises.
When they give 3%,
It's kind of a misnomer.
When they give 3%, it really ain't 3%. It's 3% of 60% of your staff. Yep.
Any further discussion? That's that core math stuff, isn't it, Dr. Parrott? Yeah. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay. 7 and 8 are from the Highway Department, $500,000 for capital outlay equipment and $25,000 for other contracted items.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Vandergrift moves to approve items 7 and 8.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 9 was from the Tourism Department. We did this last month. I didn't realize it because Stephanie sent me this one and we changed the cost center, so I couldn't find it, but then I found it. So we don't have to do number 9. I'm pulling it.
Okay.
It's already been approved. 10 is from Solid Waste, $27,000 from the restricted code for contracts with private agencies, $6,000 in solid waste equipment, 21. We discussed this last month and it was what got put off, and obviously they came back with a better solution.
A much better solution.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 10. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McNabb. For those of y'all that don't remember, the first idea was like 100 and something thousand a year. So, yes, Commissioner Bowe.
This was approved by Solid Waste Committee?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, and their minutes are in here,
Okay.
in this, page 21.
And I want to take an opportunity to thank Jeff Trabaka for coming up with that solution, and the Solid Waste Board for considering this. I think this, I'm pretty sure, hopefully it's going to solve the problem. I'm pretty sure that it will for a much, much reduced cost.
Yeah.
So I like this one a lot better.
And normally Jeff's here, he's not feeling well, so he couldn't be here tonight, but
Yeah.
let the mayor know.
Mayor, you got anything you want to say on it? Okay.
Unless there's questions.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, 11 and 12 are from the mayor's offices. Other facilities, $2,500 from donations from the Tennessee Football Club for maintenance and repair, and $4,308 from animal control, with restricted for animal control for a part-time PetSmart employee on Saturdays.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve items number 11 and 12.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Vanderveer. Sorry, ladies, my hearing's going out on me. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, 13 is from Fleet Services for increasing the revenue $5,000 and increasing tires and tubes for $5,000.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve items number 13.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Bochamp. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. You know, my hearing was fine until I went to Indianapolis. And then I come back and I can't hear very well. Is there a correlation there, Commissioner Yeager? Okay.
Sorry. 14 is from the clerk and master, using $1,500 of their data processing code for other contracted services. I think they're buying a TV and some work to do a docket display like they have in the circuit court clerk as well. So,
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Bochamp moves to approve item number 14, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, 15 is from the finance department. We received the TVA contribution for the parks, $300,000, $250 for the Claxton Park, and $50,000 for the Lost Bottom Park. We are putting those in a expenditure code for the same amounts for other capital outlay, in case we have any expenses that we need to expend those on this year. And if not, it'll roll into a restricted code to restrict for this purpose of these funds.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve item number 15. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion?
Thank you, TVA.
Mhm.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I would like to ask one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, because this is in my district, so will this be reserved for the Claxton Park, or will be used for any?
It has to be used for the Claxton Park, the 250. 50 has to be used for Lost Bottom, which is another park in your district as well.
Yes, sir.
So they can only be used for those, for that purpose.
Thank you.
And we would never use it for any other purpose, or I would be written up by audit for that. But to do it for another purpose, it would have to be brought back to county commission, which I would not even consider doing it for another purpose.
And that's what it's meant procedurally, nothing.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, the last one I have, a budget amendment, is from the sheriff's department for insurance recovery, $6,896 for repairs and maintenance of vehicles. And we have received the funds as well.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 16, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and grant applications in the sections. The first one, I have one from the Sheriff's Department for a total grant project cost of $650,000 for a purchase and implement body-worn camera program in the Bureau of Justice. There's no match on this.
Motion to approve?
Commissioner Vandergrift moves to approve, what do we want to call that, Robbie?
Just the grant application. Or, I said EMS, and I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
Sheriff.
Okay.
That was my
That's
last,
sheriff, okay.
I will change that.
Commissioner Vandergrift moves to approve the grant application for the Sheriff's Office for the body-worn cameras. That was seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, the Law Director staffing update from the Legal Services Committee. Some of y'all were at that committee meeting, and Commissioner Bochamp made a motion and seconded by Johnny Alley to endorse the staffing proposals presented by Mr. Brooks and align salaries to proper budget codes. The reason I'm bringing this, I think with what he's wanting to do in his office, he'll no longer have a paralegal, so we're gonna move once he makes his second hire, he already has Cassandra. I'll align the budget codes. This will just give me permission to do it, if you all approve this action, so.
Motion to approve.
I don't really have it ready to tell you what it is because he hasn't made a hire yet, or I don't know the amount of the salary or anything, so.
But it'll all stay within his.
Yes,
code.
he said that would happen in
I'll
the.
second that.
So Commissioner Bochamp moves to approve the, how do you want that worded, Robbie? The funding
For the legal, for it's already has funding in his budget, it's just, basically rearranging I'm gonna move the paralegal salary to a secretary salary.
So when it comes time to word that motion, you're gonna know how to word it.
I can do it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll get Paul.
Commissioner
One
Palmer,
more.
you second?
How many?
Go ahead.
Yes, I second it. That's great. How many are in the office? There's just the two right now?
There's
This
just,
will be number 3.
Mr. Brooks and, Cassandra.
Okay.
And then I think he's only interested in hiring one more.
Okay.
Instead of, they did have a four person office.
Yeah, there was 4 at one time.
There was 3
I remember.
since Mr. Brooks, but now, before that, there was 4.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
I'm fine with that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
okay, the ASAP resolution from, the October budget meeting, this thing has been on a lot of different meetings, so I'm just gonna let you all take over and.
Thanks a lot, Robbie.
It's been everywhere.
Ladies, y'all wanna come up here and address this? Just kinda give us a refresher on what has brought us to this point, please.
He's not wrong, it has been a lot of different.
Yeah.
So I felt like paper would help.
So I'll wait for you guys to each get a copy of this, and then we'll go through this, and hopefully we'll give you some context as you guys start discussing litigation tax.
Thank you.
So first at the top, and actually on the front is just an invitation for you all to join us for our annual banquet. I know that with many of you, we've discussed fundraising options for ASAP, and that is a fundraiser that we do every year, and so just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that. Could let your constituents know, and please join us if you can. The first section at the top of the report is actually an economic impact statement. So for every dollar invested in prevention, we save $17.73 of taxpayer money for things like hospital bills, jail, or treating addiction. For each individual serving time in jail right now, we're paying $69 a day. So many of them are struggling with substance use disorder or co-occurring disorders with mental health. We know that, and so if we can prevent them from ever entering our jail system, it's important for us to be able to do that and help our entire community.
This one?
Do you need one?
No.
Okay.
That next section talks about prevention and youth substance use. So you will see the cumulative contribution change. So that is a graph showing the amount of our prevalence use going down. And then the dark blue line represents the number of prevention activities and programs that we've implemented since 2012. The bottom, we actually have an update today, so I'll let Stephanie speak to that in this section, because it is actually going to be different numbers that look actually a whole lot better between 2014 to 2025. And we actually had more students this year participate in our student survey than we did last year. So it is a good representation of our community and of our students.
Just to give you a frame of reference, hello, Stephanie Strutner. Nice to see you again. Just to give you a frame of reference, when we started tracking prevalence of adolescent use in 2012, we've consistently tracked in Anderson County every other year at least since that time. So in 2012, which we consider to be the baseline year, we're talking about middle school and high school students. So what you're hearing are combined aggregate figures for each of the grades surveyed. And we ask students a number of questions that help us as prevention professionals and scientists to know where interventions are going to be most appropriate, at what age we need to engage in primary substance use prevention, and then specifically what type of prevention efforts are going to be important. Also related to mental health behaviors, school climate, and obviously the collaboration with the school system. I don't know if Dr. Parrott is still here, is really important to making all of this work. So in 2012, just for that frame of reference, alcohol prevalence of use, and that reminds you we're talking about 6th through 12th grade youth. Alcohol prevalence of 30-day use, 19%. In 2025, the most recent results, which they haven't even hit Shayla's inbox, that's how fresh they are. This survey just concluded a week and a half ago at the high schools. The middle schools were finished a few weeks prior to that. That's a reduction, so in 2025, 2.2%. I'll say I do this type of data analysis for communities all across the country. These are among the lowest that we see in any community. That's a change from since the baseline year of over 88%. Tobacco was 16.2% in 2012. It is now 1.2%. That's a reduction of over 92%. Marijuana was 9.8% of 6th through 12th graders reporting 30-day use in 2012. It is now 1.6%. That's a reduction of almost 84%. Prescription drugs in 2012 among our 6th through 12th grade students was 4.2% in 2012. That is reported at 1% now, a reduction of 76%. And electronic cigarettes, which we did not begin tracking until 2016, started at 5.7%, now comes in at 2.1%, a reduction of 63.2%.
Before we move on, any questions with those numbers?
Is electronic cigarette considered a vape?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner
Go
Smalley.
ahead.
Yes, please don't take this as a negative or
You're fine.
questioning, but I was just wondering, where do your statistics come primarily from? Surveys? Is that, did I take that?
So we have an MOU, and then Stephanie can talk a little bit more about it. We have an MOU with each of our school districts, and so they take a survey. Our students take a survey every other year, and then this year we actually implement it to be every year, and so that happens within 8th, 10th, and 12th grade students.
Your question is very, very well received. We get these types of questions as I'm an epidemiologist, so we get these types of questions from lawmakers very frequently, and it's a very astute question, one that we can dive a little bit deeper into. So we have a national set, they're called NOMs, National Outcome Measures. These happen to be mandated by Congress for some of the grants that ASAP of Anderson receives from the federal government. And so they're called core measures, are part of the national outcome measures, are required by Congress to be reported for the federal funding that are received. So there are national standard questions that are implemented with the survey. So there's a very specific methodology that goes into how these surveys are implemented with the students, the time of year that they happen, the consistency and the frequency in which they happen. There are measures built in. One of the questions that we often get is, how do you know the kids are being honest when they take these surveys? And so there are mechanisms built into the survey itself to monitor for students who are not responding honestly. And then we use a level of data mining and data detection to monitor for what we call speeding. So we know approximately how long it should take for the average person to complete this type of survey. If someone speeds through and we know that they're not reading the question, they're just selecting answers, we can use those tools based on how long it took them to mine those questions out, mine those respondents out. So we take those data, we eliminate those from the analysis, and we only keep the data that we believe are accurate and factual information.
Thank you.
And I'll add to that, students are not putting their name on it and they take it electronically, so they're not having to like hand it into their teacher, who then is gonna be like, oh, well, John Smith here's doing lots of stuff. They're not telling on themselves, if that makes sense. So they are really, really honest with their answers.
Yes, I have a question.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes, can you tell us, you have your numbers here for alcohol, 69.2%, and you gave another number there. How did those two numbers you gave correlate?
Great question. So the data that Shayla has presented in this infographic that she prepared for you were the most up-to-date figures that she had this morning when she prepared this infographic for you. Her, as I mentioned, the survey just concluded. So my lead epidemiologist who runs the data, the email came in my inbox while I was sitting in the bench. So the new data are that fresh. They are today fresh.
Oh,
so
1.9, he said, for alcohol, excuse me.
That's showing a reduction.
The reduction.
So between, what this indicates is between 2014, 2024, there was a reduction of 69.2% in underage drinking. So that has been updated. It's now a reduction of 88.4%.
That's okay. That number makes a lot more sense than the other. I guess that's the difference you were giving here?
Yeah, so that's,
okay.
what you're seeing here is the amount of change. So I
Yeah.
updated that change. Prevalence of use of alcohol right now in Anderson County, 2.2%, tobacco 1.2%, marijuana 1.6%, prescription drugs 1%, and electronic nicotine delivery systems or vapes 2.1%.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Good? Okay. On the back of that page, we'll talk about budget and outcomes. So you'll be able to see the dark blue line shows the number of community prevention activities or contributions, and then the light blue line shows the annual operating budget for ASAP, how that has increased since 2012. So as you can see, as the operation budget has grown, we have actually, that reflects a 380% increase in prevention investment. So we've been able to do more, obviously, with more funding, and that has also provided us outcomes that are a whole lot lower than they were back in 2012. The next section there, talking about diversifying funding, obviously we've talked about it with you all and operations and some of you guys individually about how important it is now more than ever to diversify our funding, where we have been primarily funded through federal, state, and local grants. The blue chart over there to the side, 96.8% of our funding does come from grants. So we are primarily funded through that as a source. The program revenue is 2.8%. That is things like the court fees, training classes, and other revenues are indicated at 0.4%. So we are looking at other ways to diversify funding. I know I've talked last month about ways that we're looking to do that, different fundraising efforts, how we can get other folks involved. And so having this litigation tax is one of those ways in which we are diversifying our funding. On the back page, second page, top is strategies. So you can see how, based on the strategic framework, as Stephanie talked about, a little bit. So going through assessment, capacity building, planning, implementation, and evaluation is how we plan and implement all of our strategic framework and a lot of our action plans. And so those are the materials. This is January 1 to November 5th is the data there at the top of what we've been able to distribute. And I will point out the doTERRA pouches, that is just from community events. That does not include what's been distributed through our mail-out program through our opioid funds. And then on the back page, you will see I felt like I was missing something, comprehensive list of pretty much everything that we do at ASAP. There's a lot of programming and a lot of implementation that goes into it in a lot of different categories. So wanted to kind of give you a snapshot of what that looks like from drug-free workplace training, our vaping classes on Saturdays, in combination with coping conversation. Those classes are going really well. We've been able to keep over 42 students out of juvenile court this year. So we're seeing really great outcomes through that new program. Our age verification materials actually gets distributed to our alcohol and tobacco retailers, provides them with the education necessary to ensure that they are not selling to underage students, and allows us partnership with our local law enforcement to do those compliance checks. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Allen.
Yeah, how does your medication lockboxes work? Is that in the homes, I guess?
They are. So they are distributed to anyone who works or lives in Anderson County. It is a lockbox that is provided to them. They can lock up any medication and keep it out of the reach of especially children or others that may be entering their home. We normally do a big push for our senior population as well, or anyone who has people that come maybe stay with them overnight around the holidays. Just good to have those locked up because you never know.
What do they look like?
They look
like a
exactly like that
the
picture right
toolbox
there.
here? Okay.
Mhm. And we have that size, which is our smaller size, and then we actually have a chest size that's just a rectangular square.
Is it like a key lock or key
Mhm.
lock? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Commissioner Smalley.
Under contributions and grants, what percentage comes from federal grants, one way or another?
We so this year we lost $250,000 through a federal grant, which was our SPIF grant. And so before that, we actually had 2 federal grants. Now we have one that is $60,000.
That was the other part of my question, how much you've lost.
Yeah. So we lost the SPIF grant, and we also lost ARPA funding, which was covering our marijuana funding through the state of Tennessee. So that funding also went away in March.
One of the things that's happening across the country from the federal standpoint and what we're hearing from our federal partners when we talk to our U.S. senators, our U.S. congressmen, is that the U.S. government is now depending on local governments to fill in some of those funding gaps where they have done so in the past. And so one of the reasons behind this ask, and this is happening not just in Anderson County, this is happening in municipalities all across the country because reliance has been so heavy on those federal dollars for so many years. And now the federal government has said, okay, it's time to move this back local. I think a lot of that is driven by the opioid settlement funds that have happened across the country, then also encouraging entities and nonprofits to diversify their funding portfolio, I think is another driving factor.
Commissioner Palmer.
So I think you answered the question. The 2 grants that you thought you were going to find out in October, if you lost, you did lose one of them.
Yeah, we were supposed to find out if we had lost our SPIF and our STOP grant. Our STOP grant is a 3-year grant, so we didn't know whether it was going to kind of end midterm or if it would continue. As of right now, we will have that for another 2 years. We're in our 2nd year of that cycle. We'll have it for another 2 years. We're not sure if it will renew after that, but we will at least have it for 2 more years. And then our SPIF grant, yes, we did lose, which was the biggest one.
Okay. And so, and you say this gala you have or this banquet you have every year?
We do.
It is a fundraising that you've done for a while? Okay. All right. The vote tonight is on litigation tax.
It is, yeah.
And I know that, I agree, you need to diversify. There is no doubt that you are valuable to this community, and I love what y'all do. Completely support prevention. I think it's important. We do have the opioid money and all that, and you and I have talked exhaustively twice on this. I just have a problem with diversifying this way to the litigation tax. I don't think that we need to put a litigation tax on someone who gets a speeding ticket. Or if I'm needing to evict someone out of a rental property, I don't think that I should be forced to pay $5 toward ASAP. Has nothing to do with your value or your worth. I just don't think that's the place to diversify. So I have a problem with that, just, you know, the civil, the criminal I get. I just wanted to say that. It has nothing at all to do with you all. You do a great job, I think, and I want to help however I can. I'd like to see more fundraising. We've talked about that. A lot of our nonprofits in the community do a lot of fundraising. So I'd like to help with that too. You know, so I'm willing to help. I just don't like the litigation tax on the civil cases.
And as we talked about, you know, our hands are a little bit tied with fundraising.
I know.
That has to be really strategic because through our grants that we do have, and as you saw, funds majority of, we can't lose those.
Yeah.
And so we can't do fundraising as staff. So that does have to come outside of our staff members, and that's a lot of time and dedication that goes into, you know, planning something that would be successful, like a gala or, you know, extra on top of what we're already doing, fundraising events.
Right.
So it requires a lot of volunteers.
I think there's a lot of people that love ASAP. I think we could get a group of us together, you know, to help with the fundraising or whatever. But anyway, I know this is left blank here. I don't know what we'll come up with tonight, but I would really like to see that litigation tax taken off of civil cases, particularly.
Commissioner Bochamp.
Yes, so I've talked to Shayla as well about this. She knows where I feel. A lot of nonprofits out here, I'm one of those that your community is supposed to help your nonprofits. We have way too many nonprofits that's constantly coming asking for money. But I feel like if the community thinks that it's a good organization, they're gonna help. So we need to go out there and get volunteers. If you can't fundraise, they can't fundraise, you gotta find somebody that can fundraise. It can't be solely on court costs. We can't do that. These people are already in a financial bind as it is. Telling them that they're gonna go from $10 to $25, they can't pay that. It sounds like it's okay to you. I can pay it. But these people that go over here and we have some of the highest court costs in the state here in Tennessee, in Anderson County, Tennessee. Our DUIs are $1,200 to $1,500 minimum, and you want me to tack another $25 on them. That's not okay. I can't put that on these people that we're supposed to be helping. That's a catch-22. We're supposed to be helping them, but here's $25. Don't work that way. What I'm willing to do, I'm not going to entertain this as it's written. If anybody wants to entertain it, I will make the motion. I will agree to $12.50 every criminal case for criminal matters, juvenile court matters, and I would like the civil stuff that's coming off there. That's your traffic tickets. If I need to evict somebody from my property, I shouldn't have to pay ASAP $5 to be able to evict them from my property. So I would like the civil to go away. I'm willing to up it to $12.50, but the way that the private act's written, it's not for ASAP. If you look at it, the private act is written more for our jail. Why would we allot every single dollar of that to go to ASAP when our jail has to keep coming all the time needing stuff for the jail? So we don't need to tie up that whole $25. I'm willing to up it to $12.50. That's another $2.50 than what you were getting, but I'm not willing to give you the whole $25. So I'll make that as a motion. The $5 civil comes off, $12.50 for every criminal and juvenile matter.
And juvenile?
Yeah. Yeah, because they spend most of their time in juvenile court. So why are we not taking advantage of that? I mean, the parents come over here and they have to pay their kids' court costs over here. Grandparents are paying their kids' court costs. If your kid's out here vaping, you're gonna pay $5.
Sure. And there's
Mr.
nothing
Chairman?
on juvenile right now, correct?
There's nothing on
Nothing
juvenile.
juvenile.
No. And we'll just make it a standard $12.50 for juvenile and criminal matters.
Good. Everybody understand the motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion?
Do we have any much this would yield for ASAP?
Well, with that number, 1250 just being brought to motion, I don't guess that's been calculated yet.
And you would
Robbie's
have
about
to
the only one around here
consider-
knows can do math that quickly.
You would have to consider how much money is lost with all of the civil cases, and so with just a $2.50 increase per criminal case, it might not yield a benefit, it might be a reduction. I don't have the numbers in
Yeah,
front of me.
but it's $12.50 for juvenile, which you didn't get anything.
You
on
got
the
nothing off
juvenile.
them. And Mr. Chairman, I want to say it again, not just to you guys, every nonprofit that comes before us, go fundraise. If you can't, go find your people out in the community that can. I mean, I help my food bank every single week. They're a nonprofit. They're struggling. People are lined up at the food banks right now because they're not getting benefits. I can't do it right now. $12.50, take it or leave it. That's the way it's got to be.
And just to clarify, the state law as it was written requires that the litigation tax go to an agency that's engaged in, this is off the top of my head, so bear with me, engaged in primary prevention, utilizing the strategic prevention framework and comprehensive complementary strategies in a county.
That's part of it. The rest of it says jail workhouse. We could send it out there to Lucretia Logan right now, who does prevention. I could send it the whole $25 out there. I'm giving you part of it.
I think software also, hardware,
Yes.
software is part of that.
That's part of it as well.
That money could be used for.
Before we call for the vote, are y'all okay with this? Or would you rather?
That's my motion.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
happening.
That's what's on there.
It's happening.
It's on your all's floor.
Yeah.
Well, I was seeking your all's input. I know the comment was made, you didn't know how much of a benefit it was gonna be.
I know when I communicated with Rex and he didn't give me a case number, I just asked him if it was raised to 25 for criminal and civil, just to kind of have an understanding of like at the very top, what would that be? So we could probably, I guess, work some long math backward. But it was gonna be $100,000 if it was raised to 25 for criminal and civil.
So you ain't gonna be getting that much.
Correct. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Everybody understand what we're voting on? Commissioner Vandegrift.
I guess my question is, I'm getting the feeling that you're for it, but I have the feeling that you're saying that it may not make a difference. So before we do this, is this really what you want?
To be clear, Shayla's the executive director of ASAP. I'm here as her data analyst, so I defer to Shayla.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine with us. I won't have numbers as far as like, is this gonna be an increase, decrease, or stay the same until we start getting court case dollars to come in, and then by next year half the year would be able to say, this is kind of what it's turned out to be. I don't know.
And we've got opioid money that's coming into the county now, which you
Right.
get some of that, and, I don't know.
I can try to look up
I'm sorry?
something before commission meeting.
You can
Try to get
calculate
some
it for
numbers
commission.
possibly.
Okay,
That'd be good.
all right.
Mr. Chairman, only for 1 year, this resolution?
Yeah, I mean, to
Yeah,
her
I think every
point-
nonprofit should come to us every year,
Yeah.
and we can decide if we want to give it to them, or
Yeah.
if we want to give it to somebody else for prevention.
Right. Commissioner Allen.
You're doing a great job. I'm interested in the community help. Where is the community in this? I've had drug problems in my family, and the help that came was from community and churches that would, donate and help in any way they can. So I hope that this gala is a success.
Thank you.
How have they been as far as success goes, these galas for you?
Yeah, last year was the first year that we were able to do one since COVID. So I actually was on the coalition back in 2020 and planned the banquet as a coalition member. So that was the last one that we had. And then because of COVID and then after years, we hadn't had a banquet. So last year was the first year we'd brought that back. And it It wasn't necessarily profitable yet, but it was our first time back trying to engage our community again in that way. And so it was a good opportunity for us to recognize some people and get together as a community. I'm hopeful that this year will be a little bit different. We've changed some of our strategy of how we're planning our banquet and some things that we're planning to offer. And so I'm hopeful that that will help.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Smalley.
I guess I'd like a report, once we know more of the impact of this resolution or motion. I'd like to have you come back and let us know, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do present quarterly at all of the operation committee meetings and try to give it a quarterly update that actually aligns really closely with what we are giving to our board. So making sure that you all, as well as the community, are also staying up to date on the impact that we're making and also a lot of our numbers and how that's changing throughout the year.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just wanted to try to offer something constructive. I appreciate the numbers. This is a really good report. You mentioned fundraising and how you can't do that, and you might have to have volunteers to do that. I think that'd be a really good thing to look at, just kind of echoing what some other commissioners said. See, Ms. Strutner here, I'll never forget, you camped out on the courthouse 7 or 8 years ago. That was incredible.
I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, no,
it's cold, wasn't it?
In the cold.
Yeah, no, I'll never forget it. And I think when the community sees things like that, even if it's volunteers, you get a lot of buy-in, and it's easier to come up here and ask for things when
It
you're
is.
you may be doing that, but it's just not as
Well, and I'll give you some
seen.
context. When I took over this role, we had been in a different situation. It was not the same coalition as when Stephanie left, for instance. And so it was a little bit different situation. We, for context, we had literally 1 to 2 people showing up at our coalition meetings. Now there's an average of anywhere from like 14 to 20. That's a huge difference. It's taken us some time to build back.
Sure.
I'm rolling into my 3rd year, so it's taken 2 years to kind of get our legs back under us and get some stuff figured out in that way. And so it's hard to make that ask of people that you've essentially just gotten roped in to say, oh, and by the way, it's your first year on Coalition, but can you fundraise for us? So trying to kind of build those skills with Coalition as well as our board. We actually just did a board training in the past couple of months for them on fundraising and what that looks like from a board perspective. So we're trying to do a lot of that stuff behind the scenes. It doesn't necessarily get seen out here as much, but it's a lot of building and trying to equip them so that they can do that effectively, because we want them to make sure that as they go out and represent us with that message, that it's accurate and they know how to talk about it and they know what we're doing, and they're involved and they have a passion for it. So,
Any further discussion? Everybody know what we're voting on? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Next item is the Communications Director proposal from the Sheriff's Office. Chief Galloway.
Thank you all. What we're asking for is to create another position in the Sheriff's Department. As most of y'all should be aware of, dispatchers work for the Sheriff's Department, employed by the Sheriff's Department, but they're really, they're answering for EMS, for the volunteer fire department, Sheriff's Department. We've now taken on Oliver Springs, Rocky Top, and Norris Police Departments. So what we've seen as we're trying to improve things is a need for a full-time director over the dispatchers to help oversee daily operations and manage the cost of overtime, which most of y'all are familiar. We've been through a lot of overtime. We're struggling when it comes to training, getting them trained efficiently, because unfortunately the director we have now does a great job. He also answers on the console, so he's having to try to work the console, cover shifts, as well as train new employees. And we're just looking at a way that hopefully we can streamline a lot of stuff, overseeing the operations. Captain Owens currently oversees the dispatchers, and he does a good job. The downfall to that is he's a certified police officer. He's never been certified as a dispatcher, so there's a lot of things that come up that we deal with, and maybe have questions with, that he has to go look for answers himself. Oak Ridge Police Department recently done what we're looking to do. They took their director that was overseeing their dispatchers, who was a certified patrolman and was not certified in communications, and they put him back out working with the patrol officers, and they've hired a civilian to come in to oversee all their dispatchers, their operations, budgets and things. And we're just asking that if we could get, this pushed through, and we would like to fund it out of the opioid, the past remediation fund, just for the remainder of this budget. As we go into budget season, we'll be looking to put this position into our budget. The cost of that, we look at, if this were to get passed here tonight and go to full commission, it would without a doubt be at least the first of the year before we could probably fill this if we started advertising it pretty soon. So the cost to cover that until the next budget is roughly about $44,000, and that's with salary and benefits. Is that about accurate, Rob?
Yes.
I understand, in the last commission meeting, there was a little bit of concern of spending some of the opioid funds for, I believe it was for the fire marshal position, but I would say that the fire marshal and the dispatchers kind of fall within that opioid funding, because they're the dispatchers are the first callers, and then ultimately they're toning out EMS and first responders from our fire departments. And of course, our officers are responding. So I do feel like it all kind of falls within the right funding, just to get us into the budget season and see if we can't present, a good clear package that would come under the sheriff's department budget through dispatch as it should be. Mayor, do you have any? We do currently have a group that I think there's 5 people on it that we're working with improvements for dispatch and working with 911. So we're really trying to put some efforts into that. It's Bryce Kidwell, Lieutenant Jeremy Huddleston from Oak Ridge Police Department, myself, Captain Owens, Nathan, aren't you on that? Justin Massey. Yeah. So.
Is that a committee?
Yeah,
A committee?
just kind of a study committee that we're looking to,
For
how we can make
911?
it better. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Mayor Frank.
I love this idea. 911 is looking at how to go to another level. There are a lot of things they're looking at, how to improve. This would be just a whole nother step in an excellent direction. And I talked to Robbie about this too, and I looked over the budget agenda in terms of that funding. Dispatches, you have overdose, you have these calls, that's the number one place you go first. And our dispatch under the sheriff's department is actually, I know Nathan serves on there, they have medical assistance as part of the protocols for training. Just having somebody there who's there all the time. Captain Owens is pulled in a lot of directions. In fact, I've seen him out on the side of the road with the trunk open sometimes, dealing with a drug arrest. But I think this is a great idea. I love it.
Go ahead.
That was one of the biggest complaints while I was sitting on fire commission, was dispatch. And it seems like now that we've all come on this one system, sheriff's department has been working really closely with them to get people hired, get it to top notch. I think this is a wonderful idea that we need to do, that's just gonna add that ribbon on top of the rest of it, that's gonna make it flow for EMS, our fire departments, law enforcement, just to make sure that it's flowing correctly.
And we hope,
To approve.
A motion to approve,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And seconded by Commissioner Vandergriff.
Chad's got something.
Any further discussion?
Oh, I just want
Commissioner
to say,
McNabb.
yeah, Chief, I love this idea. I can attest to Captain Owens has pulled in a lot of different directions. I was just in a security committee meeting earlier in the week where they were talking to him about bailiffs. He's got a lot going on. This makes good sense to me, so I'd be supporting it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Smallridge.
Chief, I wasn't clear, were you saying, or are you saying that you would, for an upcoming budget, that you would manage this cost within your existing budget?
Yes, sir. We're just asking that if we could get this funded out of that opioid fund throughout the remainder of this budget year, as we go into the budget season, we'll be adding that into our dispatch budget. As obviously it'll be an increase that we'll be asking for, but I think it'll be an increase that hopefully you all will see as a good benefit for the community, the sheriff's department, and all the agencies that are using dispatch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Next item is unfinished business. Any unfinished business come before the committee? Hearing none, do we have any new business to come before the committee? Hearing none, any further business at all to come before the committee?
Good job, Mr.
Hearing none, we're adjourned.